be a pitcher's day here today because of the strong winds. That's my guess anyway.
All right, let's go back to yesterday's highlights. The Cubs trying for their 5th consecutive win. They have not lost on this homestand, and important to have a good week with all the road games. The Cubs have 10 more coming up starting tomorrow night in Pittsburgh. 3rd inning, Christian Yelich, who's been very good in his young career here at Wrigley Field, into the basket off Jeff Samardzija. 1-0 Marlins, but the Cubs would come back. The home run ball, the story yesterday. Emilio Bonifacio with his first as a Cub. That gives the Cubs a 2-1 lead, and that's really all Jeff Samardzija needed. He went 7 innings. JD gets his first win at home this year.
Yeah, he was really, really good, and he needed to be, and they needed innings out of Samardzija the day before. The Cubs played 13 innings, so there were some tired arms out there in the bullpen, and that's what an ace does. When you need innings, he gives you innings, and in this instance, quality innings. The offense, you saw Bonifacio deep. How about Junior Lake? He had been really scuffling, but a nice day yesterday. Picked on a hanging changeup from Randy Wolf and got a fastball down around the knees. 2-home run game for Junior Lake. Hopefully that'll be a little bit of a spark for him.
And a bullpen that was pretty tired, so you've got some moving parts out there, which is okay. Pedro Strop in a save situation gets the job done, filling in for Hector Rondon, and the Cubs have won their first 5 games on this homestand. So let's look at the numbers. They're hitting the ball out of the yard, averaging almost 5 runs a game, but it all goes back to the pitching.
Yeah, the pitching has been really good with a club ERA of 2.02 on the homestand. Starters $1.88. If you're looking for a hero for the homestand, it's Anthony Rizzo. He's been absolutely lights out.
Now look, the Cubs are still 9 under. They've got a long way to go to get back even to the 500 mark. But if they're going to creep back into this thing, playing well at home is imperative.
Right, because the schedule really hasn't set up well for this team here in the first half of the season. A lot of long road trips. We got another one coming up starting today as we head off on a 10-dayer. There's another 3-city trip before the All-Star break. So, yeah, if they can hang in there, the second half of the schedule really favors the Cubs.
All right, good matchup today. Henderson Alvarez against Jake Arrieta, and we'll take a look back at what has been the Cubs' best homestand of the year. We'll also look back to the 1945 World Series. More coming up from Wrigley.
1940s, a decade in which the Cubs played the Tigers in the 1945 World Series. On October 8th, Northsiders won Game 6 right here on a Stan Hack double to score pinch runner Bill Schuster. 2 days later, back in Wrigley, it was the Tigers who scored 5 runs in the top of the first on a way to a 9-3 victory and series win. Check out the throwbacks the team will be wearing today. First base coach Eric Hinsky looking pretty sharp there in what are the 1942 replicas. All of the guys say they feel like Babe Ruth in these threads, and what a special homestand it has been so far for the Cubs. 5 in a row, and if Ricky Renteria's club can make it 6 today, that's something they haven't done since 2008. So let's take a look back at how they got there. The homestand, of course, started on Tuesday against the New York Mets, and it was Nate Shearholtz with the walk-off hit. The first walk-off of the season for the Cubs. 2-1, the victory there. Wednesday, Starlin Castro would be the one to deliver the big hit for the comeback 5-4 win. And then we go to Thursday, a chance for the sweep. And who's the hero? None other than Anthony Rizzo, who breaks the tie here with a home run in the 7th. 5-4, the Cubs. Friday, it was Rizzo again, this time though, with the walk-off homer to right field in the 13th inning for his 4th home run in the last 7 games. And the last Cub to come up with a clutch, deliver, game-winning homer late was Hall of Famer Ron Santos. How about that for some history as we get you set for the finale between the Cubs and Marlins? Lynn and JD will have the call after the break.
Five consecutive games, and today look for a homestand sweep with a 10-game trip on the horizon. for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Today, the throwback unis for both clubs as the Cubs go not only for the series sweep, but the homestand sweep. Great to have you with us. Along with Jim DeShays, I'm Len Casper. The Cubs playing their best baseball so far of 2014. It has coincided with excellent pitching and also a torrid stretch from their first baseman.
Yeah, Anthony Rizzo really been swinging the bat well. He's had a nice year. He's been very consistent all along, but of late he's been really, really good on this homestand, hitting .421. Some big clutch hits, a couple of home runs. He's driven in 5, continues to work his walks. Just good, solid, mature at-bats. If he's down in the count, he takes a defensive approach. If he's got a hitter's count, he turns it loose. Just all the things you like to see out of a developing young hitter.
Well, the starting pitchers today, they probably liked what they saw when they saw the flags blowing in.
A good day to pitch here today. Henderson Alvarez for the Miami Marlins has been red hot. Jake Arrieta goes for the Cubs this afternoon. Jake has made just 2 starts here. His very first start off the DL. Scoreless baseball against the Cardinals. Last time out here on the homestand against the Mets. Less than 5 innings allowed, 1 earned run. So it's all about efficiency for Arrieta. The pitch count, too high. Alvarez just the opposite. Very efficient. Pounds the strike zone. And 3 complete game shutouts for this kid already this year.
And for Arrieta, facing the Marlins for the first time in his career. It's Sunday, so before the anthem, we have God Bless America. The Messmers are here.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise. Kindly remove your caps and join Wayne and Kathleen Messmer as they honor our nation with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wayne and Kathleen Messmer with God Bless America and our national anthem. The Cubs go for the week sweep as they host the Miami Marlins next. friendly confines. Nice in the sun, blue skies above, and a very stiff wind coming out of the north. And Lewis Reinhardt delivered the game ball today, turned 100 back in March. Great to see him and several family members here at the ballpark. And the Cubs wearing the 1942 throwback uniforms. Yes, you could say they're playing the Miami Sun Sox, minor league affiliate of the Brooklyn Dodgers from 1949 to 1954.
Miami Sun Sox, you say? Not familiar with that club.
Well, the Cubs with a big game-ending homer from Rizzo on Friday. There were some exciting finishes around baseball yesterday as well in Colorado. Brandon Barnes with a game-ending RBI triple. How about that, to snap an 8-game losing streak as they beat the Dodgers in 10 innings.
Somebody got a little wall shy out there.
It was Andre Ethier. Eduardo Parra with a game-ending base hit to beat the Braves in the 11th. 4-3 the final. Cameron Maybin, after Yonder Alonso tied the Nationals with a home run in the 9th. Game-ending hit in the 11th. 4-3 the final, San Diego. And Mike Trout tied the White Sox with a grand slam in the 8th inning, and the Angels overcame a 5-0 deficit and beat the Southsiders 6-5. So today Jake Arrieta takes the ball, and he will face this Marlins Southwest starting lineup. Yelich homered yesterday. He's been red hot here at Wrigley Field in his short career. Lucas at second. Stanton's had a quiet series. He's in right. Casey McGee at third base hitting cleanup. Garrett Jones has been terrific on the road as of late. Marcell Ozuna's in center. JT Realmuto is the catcher. Adeiny Echeverria the shortstop, and Henderson Alvarez handles the bat well. He'll bat ninth.
Let's check out the Cubs defensively. It's brought to you by Kia. Coughlin, the former Marlin, in left. Junior Lake, a big day yesterday in center. Nate Sherholz plays right. Valbuena Castro man the left side of the infield. Bonifacio and Rizzo have the right side covered. John Baker behind the plate for our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher. One Jake Arrieta. He's made 6 starts. He's 1-1. ERA sitting right at 3. 30 innings, 35 hits, 13 walks, 28 punch-outs. Allowed just the 1 home run so far. Fastball that will work between 92 and 95 miles an hour. Good curveball, cutter, and a change.
Marcus Patillo gets the plate. Rackley, Gorman, Randazzo will handle the bases. In the shade today, it is definitely jacket weather. Much better in the sun in terms of the temperature.
Yeah, get in the sun and get a little protection from the wind, you're going to be okay. If not, hop in your binky and hang in there.
So Yelich will start it. Great work by our stage manager up in the booth, Paula Ostroba and Wim Griffiths. Camera operator up here just for keeping the scrim, with what they call it. It's the dark screen behind us to help dampen the light behind us.
All over the place.
Keeping that thing from not flying out of the booth and killing somebody. 1 ball, no strikes. We're underway. Arrieta facing Miami for the first time in his career.
Tiptoed around a lot of traffic in his last start. 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 walks, 105 pitches to get through 4 2/3. But allowed just the 1 run. Excuse me, got out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation without allowing a run.
like to be a lot more efficient today for sure. Here's his 2-1, and it's lined foul off to the left. 58 degrees and 22 miles out of the north. The wind conditions.
It's at least a 2-club wind.
We get a very small sliver of the lake from our perch. And we can look, from our distance, we can see the waves, the Whitecaps out there.
Oh, it was rocking and rolling on my drive to the ballpark today.
That'll be a leadoff single for Yelich. Able to muscle it out into left. He is now 11 out of 25 against the Cubs here at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter for Yelich. Whether he squares it up or hits it off his thumbs, he finds a lot of empty space in the field against the Cubs. This one jams him. Just a little flare, but a good at bat. Saw some pitches. Got a knock.
Bring up Lucas, the second baseman. 2 out of 7 so far in the series. Marlins will head to Arlington, Texas after this one. They're off tomorrow. And the Cubs will travel to Pittsburgh, where they will not face Garrett Cole. He has gone to the disabled list. Originally was slated to pitch tomorrow night. He's got right shoulder fatigue, so it'll be Charlie Morton instead. Jeff Locke is pitching today for the Pirates against the Brewers. Runner goes, and a tapper back to the mound, and Arrieta will have to throw to first for the initial out of the ball game.
Marlins don't do a lot of running. Yelich is one guy who can. He's at 8 out of 9 in stolen bases. I don't know if that was a hit and run play or straight steal, and Lucas just decided to take a whack at one. But either way, they've got a man in scoring position with 1 out. Part of the key so far for the Cubs in this homestand is being able to shut down big bats in the opposing orders. David Wright did nothing. Giancarlo Stanton with a double yesterday, but other than that, a lot of swings and misses.
6 strikeouts in his 10 at bats in this series. Always dangerous, leading the league in homers and RBIs, and you see what the Cubs have done to shut down the opposing team's best hitter.
Yeah, 2 guys who typically do a lot of damage. So far, nada. Could have been. Might have gotten it had Baker been able to hang on. Slider away from the right-handed pitchers has been a tough pitch for Stanton here in this series.
Dangerous count. Runner goes toward third, and Yelich will make it without a throw. His 9th steal.
Pretty comfortable lead, and Arrieta not particularly quick to home plate. Good idea by Baker just to hang on.
Marlins don't run much. Last in the league in steals. That's just their 19th of the year. He got the green light on 3-0. The Dodgers lead everybody with 73 stolen bases. The Marlins were tied for last in the majors with the Orioles coming in with the 18.
D. Gordon, right? Leading the way for the Dodgers. Yeah, you see the Marlins.
Gordon has 36 already. Three-2 on the way, and he got him. Stanton strikes out again. 2 away.
Good curveball by Arrieta. That's his go-to pitch, and when he's got command of it early, usually he's going to have a good outing. Stanton has been just off balance all weekend.
Very dangerous guy in this spot, Casey McGee. Knocked in 38 already this year with just 1 home run. He is 7 for his last 14. And he takes a strike. Takes another one. 4:22 with men in scoring position, trailing just Miguel Cabrera and Aramis Ramirez. Probably see that throwback unis in 2 pieces. Got the sleeveless vest type top, that cool undershirt, zipper front, that health patch from 1942, the right chest, and Cubs logo on the left. Thick blue piping, very sharp. Wishbone C. Similar to the Bears and the Reds.
Those funky sunglasses are kind of incongruous with it. They didn't have those in 1942.
Same with the shoes.
All the way back.
Full count now with Garrett Jones on deck. We're in the first. Yelich at third, 2 outs. Here it comes. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. McGee not happy at all with that call. And Mike Redmond's trying to keep his third baseman in the game. You be the judge. Cubs coming up. $100 to JDRF. Now the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. The leadoff man with a game-winning home run yesterday against his former team. Bonifacio with his first of the season. Junior Lake had 2 home runs. Second time he's done that in his short career. Rizzo at the big homestand. Starlin Castro in the cleanup spot as per usual. Luis Valbuena's at third. Nate Scherholtz is in right. Former Marlins Chris Coughlin and John Baker go 7 and 8 ahead of the pitcher Arrieta.
Defense for the Marlins brought to you by Kia. Same as it's been the first couple days in the series in the outfield. Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton, McGee, Echeverria play pretty much every day at third and short. Second base, a little bit of a revolving door for the Marlins. Ed Lucas in there today. Garrett Jones, the first baseman. JT Realmuto, the catcher for our Lexus starting pitcher. Henderson Alvarez, 24 years of age, 3-3 with a 2.62 ERA. Here we go.
Now watch this.
Yeah, Bonifacio stepped out on him.
So this is what he does every first pitch, and it works really well today with the throwback uniforms. It's the old school. I like it.
Thought he was going to bowl the ball to home plate. He has an outstanding changeup. It's probably his best pitch. Throws it hard. He'll sink the fastball. Also has a slider. Doesn't strike out many. Pounds the strike zone. Pitches to contact. The style there. A little showmanship.
Inside. He has not allowed a run in his last 21 innings.
Yeah, 3 complete game shutouts. In 5 of his starts, he has pitched scoreless baseball.
Slapped the other way for a leadoff single. Cha-ching. $100 to JDRF from Binny's. A lot of relievers on that list. Here's Lake.
When you go back to his final start of last year, which was a no-hitter, 4 complete game shutouts in his last 13 starts.
Strike called on Junior, who hit 2 homers off Ricky Nolasco, then of the Dodgers, last August 1st. And he hit 2 yesterday. Swing and a miss.
Good sink there at 93. His shutout last time out came against Tampa Bay. A 1-0 ball game. That's high pressure, high leverage stuff, and he carved them up. Only 88 pitches for that complete game.
From Valencia, Venezuela, broken bat, 1 bouncer to the second baseman Lucas. He'll flip to Jones for the out. Bonifacio makes second. And is there with 1 away.
Two-seam fastball moving in on Junior. Saws that bat in half.
So in the top 4 in on-base percentage in the National League. 2 homers on this stay here at Wrigley, both game winners. Back-to-back contests. Alvarez acquired from the Blue Jays in the same deal in which Bonifacio went the other direction.
There's that changeup at 88. It moves like a spitball. He just chokes it back in his hand, throws it hard. Comes out of his hand like a fastball, and for some guys it's as fast as their heater. So there's not a big discrepancy in terms of the velocity between his fastball and his changeup, but that movement is devastating.
A little more riding on his performance this year with Fernandez out for the rest of the season, their ace. Here's his 0-2. Bounced foul past Eric Hinsky. Marlins are a game out of first. One behind Atlanta, tied with the Washington Nationals for second. Oh, 2 with Bonifacio running, swing and a miss, throw to third, out. That ends the inning. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Finishes the Cubs in the opening frame. We are scoreless.
Mound, and while it's been a big week for the Cubs here on the field, it's also been a very important one behind the scenes as they wrap up the 2014 first-year player draft. And here's how things shake out for the organization. They selected 21 pitchers, seven catchers, including the 4th overall pick, Kyle Schwarber from Indiana University, and 6 infielders. Jason McLeod, 6 outfielders. Jason McLeod said, you know, we felt like we were able to get some really high upside talented young high school pitchers mixed in with the college group that we drafted. Of course, guys, as we know, with Javier Baez and Chris Bryant, certainly some very talented prospects there. So pitching, one of the very important things they looked at during this draft, and I'm sure, JD, you looked at those guys closely. What do you think now that you've seen where the Cubs went with all of that?
Well, I think they're kind of sticking with their plan, which was, you know, when you draft as early as they did, you want to go for the best guy available, the guy they felt like, you know, was a real impact player, whether he was a pitcher or a position player. And then they felt like there was a lot of depth in the draft in terms of quality arms. And everything I've read about the draft, that's exactly the case, that there was a lot of depth. You know, if you didn't get one of those top 3 pitchers, there was going to be plenty of other good arms. So very much like last year's strategy, just trying to stockpile inventory.
22 college players, 5 junior college players, and 13 out of the high school ranks.
Yeah, it's just hard to know. You know, that's the thing about the baseball draft. The football draft, you know, people are familiar with a lot of these guys. They've seen them play in big-time college programs. And baseball, you kind of have to rely on your scouts, and your people are out there beating the bushes.
High fly off the bat of Garrett Jones, very deep, and caught right at the barrier by Nate Scherholtz.
Not today, Mr. Jones. Well struck, but not well enough. Able to haul it in right there just before running into the ivy.
Good concentration. Marcell Ozuna swings and misses. 21st round, the Cubs took Charles White, University of Maryland outfielder, who's from Naperville, Illinois. Ozuna hits a ground ball to second. Bonifacio will throw him out. In round number 33, right-hander Brad Bass from Lincoln Way Central High School in New Lenox. So the front office can take a breath, and now they got to sign him.
Now they got to get him signed. Turn him over to the development guys.
Recent addition to their roster, JT Realmuto. This is just his second start. 2 for 5 since coming up from Double-A, where he put up an impressive slash line, 301, 364, and 503. Two balls, no strikes. Here comes Arrieta. Popped him up. The wind will push that one well back out of play. So the Miami Sun Sox, they were known as the Tourists. They began as the Wahoos in 1940 and 41. Became the Seminoles. Shut down for a bit during the war. These unis again representing a minor league team from that era. Arrieta with a scoreless 1-2-3 second.
For more information about the year-long celebration, visit WrigleyField100.com. The Pirates, Reds, and Nationals all in town. A rare split doubleheader against the Nats on Saturday, June 28th. Visit Cubs.com to purchase your seats today.
Castro leads off the Cubs' second. 2 hits yesterday. 60th game of the year for the Cubs, and this is his 60th start. Foul tip, strike 1. Stylish shirt.
That's probably from the 80s decade. Celebrate the 80s.
Yeah.
So Castro was due to get a day off on the previous road trip in Milwaukee, and then Luis Valbuena was nicked up a little bit. Castro did not get that day off.
He strikes out on the foul tip. Back-to-back Ks for Alvarez, who will face Luis Valbuena.
Yeah, well, the Marlins, obviously Jose Fernandez is done for the year, Tommy John surgery, but including Fernandez, their starters have the highest average velocity in all of baseball. They've got a lot of talented young arms, and that's why a lot of people are bullish on the future of the Miami Marlins. Evaldi, we saw here the other day, throws as hard as anybody in the league. Alvarez doesn't quite have that fastball, but he's got a good fastball, and he's got that outstanding changeup. Tom Kohler, also in the rotation, kind of flying beneath the radar, is solid.
Kohler with a 3.33 ERA. He will start on Tuesday night in Texas. One strike on Luis.
Oh man, pulled a string on that one. Almost like he took a dare from Randy Wolf to see how slow he could go.
This one was around 60 miles an hour. 59.
He's got to shave 4 miles an hour off to get where Wolfie was yesterday. But that'll catch you out on that front foot.
Back with 95. Ian off the plate.
Yeah. Slow you down and speed you up.
There it is. Change up low. Final day of last year, Alvarez threw a unique no-hitter. 9 innings and a scoreless tie against Detroit. Then he watched the game end from the on-deck circle on a wild pitch in the bottom of the ninth. And we should note he would not have hit in the bottom of the ninth. The bases were loaded with 2 outs, although he would have come back out to pitch the 10th. His pitch count was at 99. It's the first no-hitter ever to end on a wild pitch. And the first complete game no-hitter ending on a game-ending run since Virgil Trucks with Detroit back in 1952, the 4th no-hitter on the last day of the season. But the best part of it, and we'll have some video we'll show you at some point, after he got the final out in the top of the ninth, he thought he had a no-hitter, thought the game was over. He forgot that his team had not scored yet. Swing and a miss to strike out Valbuena.
Either that or he just figured 9 no-hit innings was good enough.
Yeah. So you're going to see the final out of the 9th inning coming up, and he reacts like it's like this is it.
He walked one, he hit a batter. Other than that, nothing.
Right there. We're not done yet. And that's how the game would end. Sherholtz with a ground ball to second, picked up by Lucas, and the Cubs go quietly. We are scoreless after 2 from Wrigley Field. As we get into the summer here, it is cold today, but got to protect your skin on a day like this. Nice to see you.
Nice
and
to see you.
Yeah, tell us about Play Sun Smart Day.
So Play Sun Smart is something that we teamed up with Pediatric Sun Protection Foundation, the American Academy of Dermatology, and Skin of Steel to encourage everyone out here to have fun in the sun, but play smart.
And we have some sunscreen right here, actually. Yep. SPF 30, which protects against both UVA and UVB rays. Tell us the difference between those two. UVA and UVB. That's key, right?
Key. Okay, here's my little mnemonic. A is for aging and B is for burns. So UVA, aging, UVB, burns. You want to make sure that you protect against both of them. So you always look for a broad spectrum sunscreen.
One strike on Adeiny Echeverria. So today, I heard some announcements before the game about protecting your skin. Now, you're supposed to reapply every 2 hours?
Yep, every 2 hours. You're supposed to use anywhere between 1 to 2 ounces every 2 hours. Most people don't apply that much, and that's why if you're using an SPF of 30, you're really only applying probably an SPF of 15.
There's the 0-2, and it's way outside, 1 and 2. Pitcher Alvarez on deck.
So 30's not good enough? You need to go bigger?
No, you don't have to go any bigger.
Just go 30, but go often.
Go 30, go often, apply thickly.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the mission of PSPF is?
Our mission is to wear sun protective shirts. Even though we're using sunscreen, we're still getting skin cancer. The rate of skin cancer is on the rise. So our mission is to wear sun protective clothing and to get it on the backs of every kid.
So the swim shirt, the idea here is there is clothing that protects against UVA and UVB rays. And that just makes sense in terms of coverage, right?
Right. It blocks 98% of your UV.
Strike on the pitcher Alvarez. He can hit. See, 190 this year, but 250 so far in his career with a homer and 3 doubles. There's the 0-1 from Arrieta. Big swing and a miss. Yikes.
Fully committed to that swing. He's not going to get cheated. Commit early. Kind of the Evan Gattis school of hitting.
Trying to get together here. Baker wanted a high fastball. Arrieta said no. Then he asked for a curve. The 0-2 just got a piece of it. I've told this before. I had a melanoma discovered back in 2006. Fortunately, they got it early, but obviously getting sun screenings, right, is a good idea. And skin checks.
Yearly skin checks, and we want to make sure that we wear the sun protective clothing. I'm wearing the shirt right now. It's a SPF 100.
Okay, swing and a miss, and they'll get me out at first. So 2 down in the inning. I know Derek Lowe, former big league pitcher, had melanoma and was very active in telling kids to put on sunscreen. And JD, I mean, baseball players that spend their whole 7-8 months in the sun.
Right. 80% of your sun damage happens before the age of 18. So
go ahead.
We're advocating to protect children so that they don't show up in my office later with melanoma.
Christian Yelich takes a strike.
When kids were young and they feel like they're bulletproof, right? So they go out and they hang out in the sun all day and they just want to get that $1 million tan, and there's a price to be paid.
Exactly. A healthy glow isn't really a healthy glow.
It's by everybody.
Right.
Okay, so let's sum up. Swim shirts for the kids. Reapply sunscreen every 2 hours and make sure you get the right sunscreen that protects against UVA and UVB rays.
And you want to make sure you wear a hat, sunglasses, and seek shade between the hours of 10 and 3. Okay. So right now, as much shade as you possibly can. But if you're outside at the Cubs game having fun, play Sun Smart.
JD, you should wear a hat.
I wear a hat all the time.
Yeah.
I know you do.
Are you wearing your sunscreen?
I do.
Good.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Dr. Amy Brodsky. Protect your skin, everybody. 3-1 on Yelich. And hit foul out of play.
Yelich, the only base runner in the ball game so far for the Marlins, singled in the first. Advanced the second on a ground ball, stole third, was stranded there. That's strikeout number 5 for Arrieta.
He's cruising along here. Good battle between Alvarez and Arrieta. June 21st, you can play catch in the outfield, hit in the batting cages, or relax in the dugouts of Wrigley Field during Catch in the Confines, presented by Advocate Children's Hospital. Tickets include a personalized photograph, a baseball, and a Wrigley Field 100 DVD. All proceeds will benefit Cubs charities. Go to cubscharities.org to get tickets.
Not so much yesterday with Randy Wolf out there, but with the hard throwers, we've seen some very interesting alignments in the outfield for the Marlins. And again here this afternoon, look at Ozuna, the center fielder, way around on the off-field side and very, very shallow for Coghlan. Stanton way off the line in right field. This is a little bit of a dangerous strategy in this ballpark because of the wells. Yank went into that corner, and it's an easy triple.
Bounced foul by Coghlan.
Cubs scored a run the other day on a double to right. Stanton had to go a long way to track down. It would have been Coghlan that hit that ball. And then Nate Scherholtz hit a triple to straightaway center field with the center fielder playing way to the left field side.
A roller backhanded by Echeverria. He just couldn't get rid of it. Would have been a tough play either way. It's a base hit for Coghlan.
Coghlan moves pretty well coming out of that left-handed batter's box. This was going to be a difficult play for Echeverria. And then there was no play after he couldn't make the clean transfer to his throwing hand. He's made a couple of sparkling plays already in this series.
Ball one on Baker. Not a bunting spot. You've got the pitcher on deck.
It may be a running spot. A little hit and run.
Line it caught by McGee. He will not make a throw to first. Runner back. That is buzzard's luck for John Baker's now 0 for his last 13.
Yeah, and he's had a fair bit of buzzard's luck this year, especially early on when he wasn't getting a chance to play that often. When he did, he hit in a lot of hard outs. Good thing Coghlan wasn't going there. Would have been an easy double play.
Arrieta squaring early, and he fouls.
Got bumping around the internet with the Cubs wearing these old-timey uniforms today, and I looked at the National League in 1942. The league batting average pretty much identical to what it is now. On base percentage was higher then. Slugging percentage significantly higher now.
There's the bunt. Alvarez fields it quickly. The throw in time to beat Coghlan. He is a terrific defender. Probably a Gold Glove in his future, in fact.
And this ball bunted way too hard by Arrieta. Possible double play here, but the throw a little bit on the shortstop side pulls Echeverria out of position where there's no chance to make a return throw to first base. But Alvarez able to nail the lead runner and keep Coghlan out of scoring position.
The 0-1, base hit to right. And Facio continues his nice series. 2 for 2 rather today. He brings up Lake. Rounded out on a broken bat roller in the first inning. Six just off the plate inside.
Yeah, he's got a little more giddy up on that fastball than I realized. He's 94, 95, 96 frequently here this afternoon. A daunting proposition to go into a 3-game set against the Marlins and have to deal with this guy Evaldi and a healthy Jose Fernandez.
The 2-1 almost hit him.
Is it the color of that glove that makes it look so big, or is it a really big glove?
Maybe a little of both. I don't know. Swing and miss, 3-2. It stands out. Marlins orange.
You've got something written on it too. Rihanna. Alyssa, something like that. This is causing a call to the media guide.
That is
Rihanna
his daughter.
Henderly.
The 3-2 swing and a miss to end the inning. Pitchers dominating as we thought they might here early on. Your photo using hashtag NorthsideFanPhoto, and it may appear later in today's broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Chip Marshall is here with his daughter Grace, celebrating Father's Day a little early from the bleachers, as is their tradition. To say hi to their family and friends watching in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Lucas, Stanton, and McGee. There have been 9 strikeouts and no walks today. In this series, 54 strikeouts, 3 unintentional walks.
That's pretty impressive.
It's combined, both teams.
Yeah. And this Marlin club walks a lot. They had walked a lot coming into this series.
Not a good idea to walk anybody in front of Stanton. There he had a 3-0 on Lucas right down the middle that time. A little sink to it. Barehanded play, Valbuena safe at first on a bang bang play. It's a hit for Lucas.
No argument from the Cubs dugout. We play on. Nice effort here by Valbuena. Off balance throw. Looked like Lucas was able to beat it for a leadoff single. Just the second hit of the day for the Marlins. Yelich started the game with a base hit. Arrieta had been perfect since then until this infield hit. Bonifacio out there at second base asking for time. Just 24 years of age, Stanton among the elite power hitters in all of baseball.
Well, how many times has he swung and missed in this series?
Oh, yeah. Wow. And many times chasing pitches out of the zone, but other times though just missing pitches in the strike zone. Mostly breaking balls.
A little high that time. It's 2-1. He's going to go off on somebody, and the Cubs hope it's the Texas Rangers and not them today. The pitch. It's a strike.
And we talk so much about the conditions here at Wrigley Field, whether the wind's blowing in or out. With this guy, it doesn't much matter. If he squares one up, he can hit it through just about any wind. He went .484 earlier this year.
Just broke his bat as he scattered the Cubs relievers in the bullpen. He is one of those guys you walk down to the batting cage and you go, oh my. Rizzo's one of those guys. I mean, he looks big on television, but then you're standing next to him, you realize just how big he is. Stanton 6'6", 240. Castro, Bonifacio, and they turn it 6-4 to 3.
Most hitters love coming to Chicago. They love playing at Wrigley Field. Giancarlo Stanton cannot wait to get out of town the way his weekend has gone. A bunch of strikeouts, a couple of double plays. Jake Arrieta's ground ball rate up this year. He's throwing more sinkers. And the curveball, too, is using more frequently, getting ground balls with that pitch. Good start, good turn. 2 quick outs.
Ground ball to second. Bonifacio's got it. The inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 0-0. charity events, wedding receptions, and birthday parties to grand openings and Little League games. Clark wants to be a part of it. Visit Cubs.com/Clark. Email Clark@Cubs.com or call 773-404-4050 for more info on how to book Clark for your special event. Strike on Rizzo, bottom of the fourth, still scoreless. Ground ball to Lucas at second, and that's the first out. Big crowd today as the Cubs go for a homestand sweep. Be their first of at least 6 games since 2008. 7-gamer Dodgers and Rockies. They're looking for their first 6-game winning streak since 2011. And we're in the middle of a 26-game stretch that started on May 22nd, in which the Cubs played just 6 games here. So it's been a good week.
A good homestand regardless of the outcome today, and hopefully they can go out on the road and get a little something going on the road as well. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami. The 3 stops on this next trip.
Alvarez is 2-1. Another grounder. This one right to third, where McGee will take care of it. So Castro's out. We were talking about sunburn. We'll probably have windburn.
Yeah, this is an interesting day at the ballpark for sure. Very breezy. Hasn't been much of an issue yet, but you got to figure that it's, knocked down that one deep fly ball that Jones hit. Pinata swing by Valbuena. Looked like he was trying to get a fly out of his face. Get out of here.
Softball swing.
Double
moving.
clutch.
High fly to right. Way back, and it is in the corner. He just missed a home run. Missed the 59-mile-an-hour curveball. Jumped on the next hard pitch. Cranked a double.
This time a big leg kick and an aggressive swing on a fastball. Maybe part wind, part topspin, keeps that ball in the ballpark.
Right off the see-through door and right. See if Scherholtz can knock him in. 0-1. Shallow center, caught by Ozuna, and the inning is over. 2-out double by Valbuena, but the Cubs cannot convert. 0-0. Awesome view of Wrigley Field from the Budweiser Bleachers Suite, which features a sports bar atmosphere with new TVs, high top tables, and a one-of-a-kind Wrigley Field experience. The suite can hold up to 100 guests and includes food, drinks, and parking. For more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200.
Well, the man working on his reading.
Arrieta 57 pitches through 4 innings. Much more efficient than the last time out. Let's see if that can continue here. 1-0 to the first baseman Jones. He fly deep to the warning track out in right center in the second. Big overshift on the infield. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Look at Bonifacio, how deep he is.
He's playing rover.
Valbuena, the third baseman, over there with him. Castro, the only guy on the other side of the bag.
Castro up initially, taking away the bunt. And now with 2 strikes, he's moved back.
Curveball in the dirt. Cardinals leading the Blue Jays late 5-0. They're in the bottom of the 8th in Toronto. Peralta has hit his 10th. Carpenter is second for St. Louis. Jaime Garcia, 7 strong shutout frames on 3 hits. And for their second straight shutout of the Jays as Jones strikes out.
Good sharp breaker down below the knees. A slide ball.
Ozuna pops to right. Long run Scherholtz. And the wind takes that ball out of play. It's funny how the wind works. I mean, normally on a day like this, you say the wind helps the pitchers. And I would say generally you're correct. In that case, the wind gave the batter another chance because normally that's a routine fly to right.
Yeah, and at pitchers generally you don't mind a little wind, but this is a tough day to. I mean, obviously the fact that the wind's going to knock some balls down helps you, and the fact that it's cold helps you. But pitchers generally don't like pitching in wind. You know, strong winds like this, sometimes it's difficult to get the feel.
The A's all over Arrieta's former team, the Orioles, 8-0. They're only in the 5th inning in that one. Brandon Moss with a grand slam in the 3rd. Well, he swung a pitch that was nowhere near the strike zone. Number 7 for Arrieta.
Premeditated?
Wow. You're saying if Arrieta had faked the pitch, he would have swung at it?
Maybe, yeah. Just kind of pantomime one and see if he'll take a hack at it. when you go back to the dugout, you don't want to make eye contact with the manager or the hitting coach.
Real Muto swinging and missing. Pitchers duel in the Dome in St. Pete. Mariners and Rays are scoreless. Felix Hernandez, Chris Archer. King Felix has 12 strikeouts through 6. And he's only made 80 pitches. Archer, 90 pitches, just a couple of strikeouts as he's gone into the 7th now. Two and one on the Marlins rookie catcher. Three and one. Echeverria would bat next. Miami with 2 hits. Singles by Yelich and Lucas to lead off innings. Your backup catcher, you want to play for the Miami Marlins, managed by a career-long backup, Mike Redmond. You're going to get playing time. He will not forget about you.
Managers take care of their own. Most managers have a soft spot for the utility guys, the backup catchers.
Pretty well hit to left, but it will be the 3rd out as Coghlan calls it in. Halfway home on a windy, sunny Sunday afternoon. 0-0.
Today's player of the game. Vote now. Log on to Cubs in-game live on csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class.
Anderson Alvarez has not allowed a run his last 25 innings and counting, as Chris Coghlan goes first pitch hunting and he pops out to Echeverria.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make last inning there. And the balls like that, you have to make sure you run out, because the way the wind is blowing, there could be some misplays on pop-ups today. You don't want to get embarrassed and stuck at first when you should be standing on second, especially in a game like this. It proves to be critical.
Alvarez doesn't give up home runs since the start of last year. home run rate per 9, about a third of a homer per 9 innings, lowest of any starter.
He's only walked 16 men.
Okay, so you strike out people, you don't walk people, you don't give up home runs.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
You're going to have a really good FIP.
Lined into right. John Baker's hit the ball hard twice, finally rewarded. Snaps an 0 for 13 in the process. And will put Arrieta in another bunting situation. The last time he bunted into a fielder's choice.
2 line drives, 1 knock now for Baker. For the unsabermetric FIP, that's fielding independent pitching. It's a pretty good predictive tool. You see sometimes a guy with a really low ERA, but if he walks a lot and he gives up a fair number of home runs, that ERA is likely to climb in the future, and FIP will let you know that.
Another hard bunt. Alvarez again will throw to second. Closer that time, but out.
Jake's getting too much contact, too much barrel on these bunts.
As we mentioned before, Alvarez can really handle his position defensively. If you'd say the shoes match the personality, I would say that is absolutely the case for Emilio Bonifacio. Beautiful face, as Lenny Marullo called him yesterday. Colorful, energetic, always in a good mood. Uniform usually dirty early in a ball game.
What he rarely does, he did yesterday, and that is hit a home run. His first in a good long while.
That would be the game winner. Cubs would not trail after that 2-run homer. It's 2-2 on him. That will get into center, and he's 3 for 3. Starting to look like the Bonifacio of April. You're going through a slump.
And when he had 11 hits in a 3-game series at Pittsburgh to start the season, where the Cubs go next. Just has very good eye-hand coordination, good contact skills. Doesn't walk a whole bunch. So, when he's not finding holes, his value obviously diminishes greatly. But when he's able to punch it over the infield, slap it down the line, his contact skills really pay off. But walk down and hit home run. So for Bonifacio, it's all about batting average and speed. Those are his assets. Junior struck out last time on a really good changeup. The slider is Alvarez's 3rd best pitch. It's the pitch that Junior struggles with the most. So that's the debate if you're Alvarez.
Fly ball well hit, right center. Wind pushing that one right into the glove of Ozuna. to end the inning. We go to the 6th. It's the Cubs nothing and the Marlins nothing.
Coughlin 1 for 2 on the day of facing his former team in the Marlins. And while he was in Miami, had a chance, he said, to get close to former Cub Andre Dawson. And he had a piece of advice that Chris shared with me this morning.
He would just tell stories, and then obviously here in Chicago is very dear to him, so I always enjoyed hearing that. And he was always just like, hey man, if you ever get the opportunity later on in your career, you know, there isn't really a better place to be. So it obviously happened a little bit, you know, quicker in my career than I thought, but it's exciting, and you know, it's been as advertised.
I asked Chris if he could share some of those stories the Hawk gave him, and he said, you know what, I really can't share any of them on camera. But he said it was so great getting to know him, guys. I know we've all gotten to speak to him when he comes back to Wrigley, but certainly Chris says it has lived up to the hype being able to play here in Wrigley every day.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, Jason Kendall said it. I think a lot of other guys who've been here have said it. You owe it to yourself to be a Cub at least once.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not everybody can do that. It's funny that this comes up because that's exactly my thought after Mike Stanton bounced into that double play last time up. I thought, well, here's a guy that, you know, the Cubs may have interest in down the road when he becomes a free agent if the Marlins haven't locked him up. It's going to be tough to convince Stanton to come here and play the way this weekend is going for him. We'll have to hang him a breaking ball just so he can have a little fun.
We are in the 6th inning, and it's Danny Echeverria against Jake Arrieta. In on the hands and bounced foul.
Two base runners for the Marlins today. Arrieta has not walked a man. Yelich leadoff single in the first. A Lucas leadoff single in the fourth, which was just a little slow roller to third. There's not been a lot of solid contact. Off the hard throwing right-hander. Starting pitching for the Cubs on this homestand has been outstanding.
Outside. See the infield hit leaderboard. A big surprise to see guys like Gordon.
It's a speed stat, obviously. Echeverria will bunt for a base hit too. Not with 2 strikes.
Royals lead the Yankees 2-0. They're in the 5th inning at KC. Kuroda and Shields the matchup in that one.
more injury problems for the Rangers. First baseman Mitch Moreland.
I see reconstructive ankle
Yep.
surgery.
3 months or better he will be out.
Better meaning worse.
Worse, yeah. Better meaning more. Donnie Murphy. Donnie ball game, as we like to say. Played first today for the Rangers, or is playing first. Whittling away at that first base depth chart over there with Fielder going down, now Moreland.
Astros thumping the Twins 5-0 at Target Field. Bottom of the 4th inning. Dexter Fowler is homered, his 4th. He's been pretty good for them. His on-base percentage over .390. Way up in the air, shallow center field. Winds pushing this ball to the right, and it'll be Bonifacio. Castro has great radar for those pop-ups, but the ball just kept getting pushed toward the right side of the diamond.
Yeah, if you're on the side where that ball is drifting to, that's an easier play. And then Bonifacio identified it pretty early. And instead of chasing it, he basically waited for it.
You mentioned the Rangers. They are scoreless with the Indians in the 3rd inning. In Arlington, Masterson and Saunders. A pitching matchup. And you got to treat Alvarez. He's not a pitcher hitting. Breaking ball, base hit, as I was saying. And I don't know how much extra value you put on a JD, but we see Travis Wood every 5 days. There is value in a starting pitcher who can play defense and hit.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when you put your roster together, obviously you just prioritize guys that can pitch and get people out. But if it's a coin toss as to who's going to be your 5th guy, say, the guy can hit a little bit.
Curveball apparently out of the strike zone. 1 ball, no strikes.
Could have been for sure.
The 1-0 to Yelich. It's a strike. This is the kind of day in which you want to hit line drives if you're a hitter. Fly balls generally become outs.
Just shorten the stroke, try to get on top of the ball.
They're doing the wave at Wrigley Field, which means Twitter will explode and probably blow a fuse. Most diehard Cub fans don't like it here at Wrigley Field, even though a lot of people who come here do it anyway. Yeah.
The no wave at Wrigley sign. There's some booing going on. There's not a whole lot of action in this ball game.
Right.
And it's cold, so people want to move around, stay warm.
The entire section of people right in front of that no wave sign just stood up. And here it goes. Twitter just, yeah. 1-2 on Christian Yelich. The kick, the pitch, ground ball to second, the flip to second for one, and that'll be it. Yelich able to pretty easily beat out the relay throw.
Changeup with good sinking action there from Arrieta, getting the weak ground ball slowly hit and a difficult turn. Castro was quick with the turn at second base, but Yelich safe by a step and a half. Yelich stole third base back in the first. He has stolen about half of their club's total. 9 out of 19.
The internet has crashed. But the wave has stopped.
Just a little temporary thing.
I'm exaggerating, but two outs. We're in the sixth. Pitch number 89 for Arrieta coming up. Runner goes. Yelich is saved. Second steal of the afternoon. And they don't run much, but he can. He's got 10 now.
Head for a slide throw, just a little bit on the shortstop side. That may have been the difference maker. And there you see it in super slow. Hand got in just before the tag applied.
Well, that's super slow. That is the best thing we use technologically for this game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, love it.
Great look. James Russell has started to loosen up.
One base isn't that big a deal, but in a game like this, it is. Yelich in scoring position.
Yeah, this is like a corner kick in soccer. Put a man in scoring position on a day like today, and all of a sudden, all the attention focuses out there at that man on second base. Renteria talks a lot about his outfielders and he wanting them to play a little bit more shallow than he has seen in the past. And they're definitely in here. Combination of a guy in Lucas who doesn't have a lot of power, and the way the wind is blowing, and the fact you got two outs and a man in scoring position, you want to have a shot at him on a line drive to the outfield. More importantly, you want to be able to come and catch a blooper. With Yelich's speed, it would be really difficult to throw him out on just about any base hit that got through the infield. Butler, the third base coach of the Marlins, reminding Yelich, pointing out at the outfielders, letting him know how shallow they are. He has to make sure he gets an aggressive lead.
This will end the inning. Castro to Rizzo. So the Marlins leave Yelich at second base. Scoreless in the sixth. 6th. Against Alvarez. And a swing and a miss. Henderson Alvarez. Not a starter in baseball right now. You were mentioning his stuff earlier. He's not a big strikeout guy. He doesn't walk a lot of people.
No, I think he has the kind of stuff where he could develop into more of a strikeout pitcher. I don't know if he cares to or they want him to. He's been very efficient this year. He averages just a little over 13 pitches per inning, and that allows him to pitch deep into games.
Called strike 3. Hasn't allowed a run since May 16th. 7 shutout against the Phillies. 5 shutout against the Nationals. Complete game shutout against the Rays leading up to this one.
Fools Anthony there with a 2-seam fastball that ultimately catches a good chunk of home plate.
His 5th strikeout. And in there on Castro.
His strikeout high for the year is 7.
Castro did have 2 hits yesterday, but slow start to this month. He hit .308 prior to May 1st, .248 in May, and he's hit just over .200 to start June. Drives that ball out into the alley, and that will get to the wall for extra bases. A 1-out double.
Well, you were talking earlier about the need to keep the ball down, keep it under the winds. Castro certainly able to do that there. That line drive double to left center. Whereas again, boy, he's very aggressive out over the heart of the plate. Solid ringing double for Castro, and the thing I really liked about it, I was watching him as he headed into second base. He sometimes, not only Starlin, a lot of hitters, Castro probably more than most, will make assumptions out there on the bases, kind of break it down a little early, cruise into second base. Yeah, press your advantage, go, make the defense stop you. Maybe there's a little mishandle, ball gets hung up in the ivy, something like that. You want to position yourself to take advantage of it.
Couple of shots here to grab the lead. The 0-1 to Valbuena misses.
Comes under the category of playing the whole game. Always be attentive. Take advantage of every opportunity. Don't get fooled by that ball in the dirt. Be ready to take an extra base.
Valbuena with a .381 on base percentage. That would put him in the top 10 in the National League if he qualified. Jones with a nice play. Alvarez covers. Safe at first. High throw. Alvarez came off the bag and he's hurt.
Yeah, that was awkward. I don't know if it's groin, hamstring, hip, knee. Could be any number of things. Good glove work here by Jones. He just hangs onto that feet a little too long, and Alvarez going, ooh, man.
Well, look at the athleticism. Yeah. That's a terrific play just to catch it, but
yeah, he, and doing everything he can to try to come down on the bag. Initially been ruled a base hit. That will be overturned, I'm sure. That's an error on the throw by Jones. An accurate throw, and that's an easy out at first base. Jones, it's kind of that distance as a first baseman. You kind of hung up in between the underhand toss and trying to flip it overhand. long underhand toss, sometimes a little difficult to execute. There's Dan Jennings, the left-hander, getting ready.
Tough decision here for Mike Redmond. If he says he's okay, do you let him stay in? You've already gotten 5 1/3 stellar innings out of him. You have runners at first and third with 1 out here in this inning. And that's going to be it.
And you got a couple left-handed hitters coming up too, and you got a lefty getting ready, so
will be it. So it will be
big break for the Cubs on a couple fronts. The misplay, and now Alvarez having to leave the ball game.
So we'll be back. Warm up in the bullpen will get as much time as he would like here, with Alvarez leaving due to an injury.
It shouldn't take much more for Jennings, who's used to coming in on short notice. So in the one with a 1.15 ERA in 18 games so far for the left-hander. 27 years old, 6'3", 210. Fastball slider.
Spot in this game as the Cubs have runners at first and third with 1 out. Nate Scherholtz the batter.
Right-handed bats available on the bench for Ricky Renteria should he decide to make that move. You see the breakdown. Jennings left versus right. Right-handed hitters having a fair bit of success against them.
Well, we have a second. Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every Sunday night for your chance to own one-of-a-kind game-used Cubs items. This week's auction will feature these 1942 Cubs throwback uniforms. And go to Cubs.com/authentics to bid on these jerseys and other unique game-used items. This 1940s homestand comes to an end, so let's recap it. This is Stan Hack. We talked about him.
Smiling Stan.
With his son, Stan Jr., earlier this week. Bill Nicholson led the Cubs in homers and RBIs in the decade. Claude Passeau With 130 complete games, the Cubs dropped a 7-game World Series to the Tigers in 1945.
I believe Claude Passeau is the winningest pitcher ever from the state of Mississippi.
Okay.
If you ever, in case you're ever, on Jeopardy or what was the old Regis show there? Millionaire Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Wants to be a millionaire.
Yeah, in case that question comes up, you'll be ready for it.
Got it. Well, Jennings took a lot of time to get ready, which is his right to do in this spot. Now he's ready. And the Marlins will play their middlemen at double play depth. McGee is in at third. Jones will hold on Valbuena at first.
I was wrong, by the way. Guy Bush is the winningest pitcher.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Our AT&T U-verse multi-view. Cubs trying to get the first run of the ball game. Pitch. It's a strike on the outside. 1-1.
The bullpen has been so good lately. 1 run might be enough today.
Good take on a slider. Things a product of the University of Nebraska. Brian Schlitter is up. Two-1 is driven high and very foul. And Morris has been a very busy man in this series. Up again in their bullpen.
Sherholtz adding 273 on the homestand, 5 out of 16 before today's game.
2-2 ground ball to first. He gets past Jones. Cubs will get the lead. Castro in. Valbuena is going to be sent by Gary Jones. The relay throw is going to be late. A 2-run triple for Nate Sherholtz.
Triple has been the order of the day here lately for the Cubs. One might have been enough, but they're not going to settle for one. It's a 2-run triple by Sherholtz. There, Jones in position to make a play, could not knock it down.
So the scoreless streak is over at 26 innings for Alvarez. Those runs charged to him to add insult to injury. And now the infield in against Coghlan, already 2-0. And a strike. RBIs 19 and 20 for Sherholtz. Really pulled off a slider there. 0-2. Gets by. Ball bounces right back to the plate, and Sherholtz able to get back to third. Probably a good decision. I'm guessing he would have been out by 60 feet.
Yeah, Bit of good fortune for the Marlins here.
Another one low, blocked by Real Muto. Following Alvarez's injury, a left hip strain. Another 2-2 ground ball, backhanded by Lucas. They've got Sherholtz caught up. He's trying to buy time for Coghlan, who's going to have to stay at first. Tag applied over there by McGee.
Sherholtz going on contact there. It's not like he made the wrong play or anything. He actually made a smart play by slamming on the brakes and getting in the rundown. A lot of times the guy will just run into a tag at home. He sees the play developing in front of him, so he tries to stay in the rundown to allow Coghlan a chance to move into scoring position. Coghlan, not sure what's going on behind him, runs through the bag at first base. By the time he figures out what's going on with Sherholtz, it's too late to try to get to second.
Justin Ruggiano's on deck in Arrieta's spot. Jake can get the win. 6 scoreless on 3 hits today. No walks, 7 strikeouts.
Talked earlier about the Marlins being last in the league in stolen bases. The Cubs are last in the league in stolen base efficiency. They've been successful just 61% of the time.
It's not where you want to be.
Well, league average right around 3/4 of the time successful.
They have now given Jones an error on the ball hit by Valbuena, which you predicted.
Yeah, that's the right call.
Valbuena's run still counts. It'll just be unearned.
Hey, that would be a good new rule. We're always proposing new rules. Unearned runs only count for half.
So it's the Cubs 1.5
Yeah.
and the Marlins nothing. Yeah. Don't think that one's going to fly.
No, not going to get that one by the rules committee.
Well, it goes on the 2-1 and Baker fouls.
Coghlan selling out, face first into second base, but all for naught as the ball was fouled at home plate. Had a pretty good jump on the left-hander.
The most graceful of slides.
No. I think the ability to slide feet first is it's just disappeared.
Strike 3. So Baker caught looking. The Cubs get the lead on the 2-run triple by Nate Scherholtz. It's 2-0.
Team up with Clark as a member of Clark's crew and receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise. Visit Cubs.com/Clark to sign up today and be part of the fun all season long.
Time now for our Xfinity high-speed action. Jake Arrieta, terrific. One of the better outings as a Chicago Cub.
Yeah, he came into this game with an 0.90 ERA here at Wrigley Field in 2 previous starts, and was outstanding again here this afternoon. 6 innings, a 3-hit scoreless baseball. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 7, and had everything working. Breaking ball, good sink on the fastball, some good changeups. But despite that good work, Ricky Renteria not hesitant to turn the ball over to his bullpen that's been outstanding lately. And Ryan Schlitter, the first man out of the chute, 27th appearance for Schlitter. He's 2-1 with a .188.
Last 24 games, going back almost a month, the bullpen with a 2.01 earned run average. Very cohesive young group. They've been rolling inside on Stanton. Low and inside, 2-0. Stanton was called up 4 years ago from AA. I mentioned the Marlins not shy about bringing up their prospects, skipping AAA altogether. The AAA affiliates, New Orleans, they probably don't like it, but
yeah, those minor league clubs, they like it when the star caliber prospects pass through town, at least for a little while, help sell some tickets.
Junior Lake makes a grab.
It's even better for the minor league franchises when a big leaguer comes down on a rehab assignment, especially a guy with a big name. Boy, they'll really pack the house for those games.
sinker misses in. Really a great story. Brian Schlitter from Park Ridge, Illinois, to Maine South High School. We've told the story many times. Made his big league debut in 2010 and then kind of disappeared from the radar for a while with the Phillies and the Yankees. Returned because of a pre-existing elbow injury, Tommy John surgery in June of 11. Kind of a surprise that he made the opening day roster. Spent a little time at Iowa in April, and since he's come back, he has been terrific. He's not allowed to run his last 15 1/3 innings.
Just missed with a sinker.
It's the first walk issued by a Cubs pitcher today. In fact, it's the first walk for either team.
Cubs walked just one yesterday. Samardzija, his 7 innings. 1 free pass. The 13 inning game. 17 strikeouts, 1 walk. It was intentional. So boy, when you start to think about the strikeout walk numbers for the Cubs pitchers in this series, they're eye popping. Schlitter, a ground ball guy.
Outside, 1-1. One and two. Ryan 6'5", 235 pounds. His 1-2 is just a bit off the plate. Jones really tried to sell it. Wasn't that far inside.
Been working him primarily away, so sometimes that pitch just off the inside corner feels further inside to the hitter.
Lifted to right, and he lines out to Sherholtz. 2 gone. Mike Nedaba, the nephew of the late Andy Pafko, will conduct the stretch coming up. Had Andy in the booth on several occasions. Played center for the Cubs 1943 to 51. Played for the Dodgers, the Milwaukee Braves. Had a great major league career. Great to have Mike with us from Wisconsin today. As Marcell Ozuna will bat with 2 outs. 2-0 Cubs here in the 7th. A chopper toward third. Valbuena's got to hurry, and Ozuna is on with an infield hit.
Boy, 4 hits for the Marlins today. 2 infield hits, kind of like this one. Valbuena deep here. So it's a do or die play. He's coming with a lot of momentum forward. Just can't get it on the bare hand. That's just the nature of baseball. Garrett Jones hits a bullet to right for an out. Ozuna hits a little roller to third for a knock.
Real Muto, the catcher, is grounded out and flied out. 0-1. Jacob Tyler, call him JT. And on the hands, and he fights it off.
Big time high school quarterback. Recruited by Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. One of those schools made a run at him.
Converted shortstop. Knocked down by Baker. John can barely talk, but he's well enough to play. Took the foul ball earlier this week off his throat. So he's got that protection now. Lined into right for a base hit. That ball almost hit Ozuna. McGee will score the first Marlins run, and for the first time in a while, Schlitter has allowed a run. It's 2-1. That ball was very close to hitting Marcell Ozuna.
And had it hit him, Ozuna might have been headed to the hospital. This ball really well struck by the young catcher, and we got a one-run game.
Bring up Echeverria. With Reed Johnson now on deck. You don't have to twist Reed Johnson's arm to wear throwback uniforms. He's always got that old school look. Schlitter needs to make a pitch here. He does not want to load the bases and face the veteran pinch hitter. The 2-0. Now 2-1.
Ozuna with pretty good speed out there at second base. He's probably hacking. He's only walked 10 times all year. So I suspect if it's close, he's swinging.
You are correct. 3-2. Runners will go with this pitch with 2 outs here in the inning and a run in. There they go. And a ball muscled into right for a base hit, and they're going to tie the ball game. The throw goes to third, a little off line. Ozuna is in, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Schlitter made his pitch, but got beat.
The ball drifted back over the plate a little bit, but he still tied him up. A 94-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball. Didn't barrel it up by any means. but not the pitch they were trying to make, trying to go down and away a little bit on Echeverria.
So now, in a 2-2 tie, go-ahead runs at third, and the dangerous Reed Johnson is up. And he certainly has had an impact on this series. Against Hector Rondon with 2 outs in the 9th on Friday, tied the game with a 2-run pinch hit single. And Grimm has joined Russell in the Cubs pen. 3 straight 2-out hits for Miami.
Two-run single Johnson had the other day came on a first pitch fastball. He comes up to home plate ready to swing the bat. One of the best pinch hitters in all of baseball, has been for a while now.
Stands right on top of the plate, and now time call. I mean, Reed almost leans into the strike zone. That's how much he crowds home plate. Not afraid to get hit.
Yeah, it makes it tough for a pitcher too when you look in there. It doesn't give you a whole lot to look at. He's quick inside. You want to try to jam a guy that's that tight to home plate, but he's pretty quick in there, and he covers the outside plate so well because he is so close to the plate.
Came off the bench swinging on Friday too. Cubs would win it in 13, but that hit right there sent the game to extras. He's a career .304 hitter at Wrigley Field. And low, ball 1.
The Marlins, an attempt to change the culture of their team a little bit, brought in some solid veteran character guys who obviously still play a little bit too. Johnson, Garrett Jones, Casey McGee,
Jeff Baker.
They also signed Rafael Furcal to play second base. He missed all of last year after surgery, and he has not yet played this year, but apparently he's getting close.
He's got a strained hamstring, so rehabbing from that.
Pretty much been one sinker after another from Schlitter.
.2-0 grounder to the shortstop Castro. Flip to Bonifacio. Stretch time.
Today's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, Andy Pafko's nephew, Mike Nettlebaugh.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's win one for Andy.
Remote parking and shuttle services on night and weekend games. The remote parking lot is located at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. Mike Nedoba, nice job with the stretch in from Stevensville, Michigan. Andy Pafko from Wisconsin. As Darwin Barney will face A.J. Ramos. Pitch hitter and a new pitcher.
Yeah, new guys, newbies. 3-0, 267 for Ramos. Obviously, he's pitched around those walks. It's a very high walk rate for him. Can get you to swing and miss, too.
Breaking ball and Barney ducking out of the way. We've had people on Twitter ask about the patch on the Cubs uniform, that patch on the right chest that reads health. Well, remember, these uniforms were from 1942, and all the teams in baseball during World War II had patches of some kind, and this was kind of a health and fitness campaign. Reminder. I believe the only year they had this particular patch on the Cub uniform. 3-0 the count. Miami tied it up with 2 in the top of this inning after the Cubs scored twice in the bottom of the 6th. Full count, 3-2. Ramos is back in it. Pulled foul. Well, another rough ride for Grant Balfour. He just gave up 5 runs in the top of the 9th as the Rays trail the Mariners 5-0 going to the bottom of the 9th. His ERA is 6.46. That pitch hit him. Would have been ball 4 anyway. So the leadoff man is on here in the 7th.
Yeah, well, there's that walk rate we were talking about, the inability to command the fastball. Bites Ramos here as Barney is able to get on base. A brush of the jersey, as I mentioned, would have been ball 4 anyway. Decision time now for Ricky Renteria. Sense is that Bonifacio will be bunting. And that'd be a bad idea to try to bunt for a hit, as opposed to just giving yourself up. He's been swinging it well today. Sacrificing all the way there. Done that successfully 3 times this year. Nice when you're up there to bunt. If you've got a guy on base who could run a little bit. And Barney's qualified.
2-0. Almost behind another batter to start this inning.
Yeah, so now I think you have to change your thinking a little bit here. Either take all the way or turn him loose. See if you can yank one into that right field corner.
There's the bunt. McGee will get the out at first.
Well, a good bunt by Bonifacio. This Renteria just didn't want to mess around. Question is, was it a strike? Might have been ball 3. So he might have been able to get on base ultimately without giving up an out.
Lake with a runner at second and 1 away in a 2-2 tie. Breaking ball. Out of the zone, ball one. Mike Dunn heating up in the Marlin bullpen. Popped up, right field. Stanton coming after it. That ball will drop. It's a fair ball. Fair ball. Lucas will pick it up. Barney coming around aggressively will be stopped by Gary Jones. Lake with a bloop, 2-base hit.
Well, turnabout is fair play given the nature of some of the hits the Marlins have had in this series. The Cubs will take it. Just a little pop fly, well placed by Junior Lake. We've focused on this Marlin outfield alignment all series long, how they've had Stanton way off the line. Not so much in this case, though. This is just a beautifully placed lob wedge.
So Chuck Hernandez, a pitching coach, will head out. They've got a decision to make. Do they try to pitch around Rizzo, intentionally walk him, or go after him?
If they decide to go after him, I'm guessing Dunn will be the guy. Of course, the number he's put up against left-handed pitching this year kind of muddies the water a little bit as you strategize against him. He has been really, really good on this homestand. Better than 400, a couple of big home runs, a lot of clutch at-bats.
It's another reason why Castro's been put in the 4 spot, to at least make the other manager think about it. You're going to bring in a lefty to face Rizzo, then you've got Castro, and then more lefties after Starlin. They will walk Rizzo intentionally. Take their chances with the bases loaded.
And this is really interesting because you've got a guy in Ramos who, has had control problems, so you're always hesitant to issue this intentional walk, load the bases with a guy out there who's prone to walk people, but Castro doesn't walk much.
They're not going to let Rizzo beat them in this spot. They do bring up a guy who has doubled today. Certainly likes to swing the bat in Castro. Corner men in at the edge of the grass. Double play depth up the middle. Bases full of Cubs in the pitch. Swing and a miss.
Don't need a grand slam here. Base hit will get it done. Almost gets more outs in the air than he does on the ground.
His 0-1 misses. Almost from Lubbock, Texas. Bases are full. Not much happening offensively for these two teams until the 6th. 4 runs since. And another threat here in the 7th for the Cubs. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 outs. We'll see if Redmond now chooses a lefty with Valbuena coming up.
Silver anxious there,
Cutter.
reaching for that pitch. Yeah, good cutter. Good 6-8 inches off the plate.
That'll be it for the right-hander. Ramos exits. Dunn enters. Bases loaded, 2 down. We'll be back in the 7th. Mike Dunn.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's working for the 29th time. 4-3 with a 3.70. He's got a power arm. Mid-90s fastball. 2 and a 4-seamer. Good strikeout numbers. Valbuena. A tough assignment here off this tough left-hander, but he usually hangs in there pretty well. Big opportunity for Valbuena to get Castro off the hook.
Barney is at third. Blake is at second. Rizzo's the runner at first. Hit batter, double, intentional walk. And the pitch to Valbuena, and he went around for a strike. Luis always would prefer that they ask it third when they call a strike, and he's right. He didn't swing.
I don't think he swung.
The point to be made here is how does a home plate umpire call the pitch and then see if he swung or not, when he should be able to get help? At any rate,
yeah, I think it's an instinctive call for the home plate umpire.
Inside. Cold foul. Banged it off the sidewall. 2-2. Some people on Twitter want to know why not Mike Olt for Luis Valbuena in this spot. Well, you want to swap a 380 on base percentage for a guy who's really been struggling.
Yeah,
around 235 or so.
Yeah, that'd be a tough assignment for Olt. And Dunn's been really good against righties too. Not like he's just that traditional loogie that only gets left-handed hitters out.
It's the other reason why you leave Luis in. Bases loaded. You've got a guy with as good an eye as anybody on the club. We're making some noise here at Wrigley Field. The Cubs trying to win for the 6th consecutive time in a 2-2 ball game here in the 7th. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and a 3-2 on the way, and he fouls out of play.
Of course he does.
Another payoff delivery inside. He forces in a run, and the Cubs lead again, 3-2.
Bueno with another tough AB. Big RBI walk. Done working all around the edges of the strike zone, and that one well off inside.
Swing by Nate that time. Foul strike on him. Seen a lot of good signs from Scherholtz lately after a very slow start.
Been hammering that ball down. Hunched over with that uppercut swing. He's been able to get that low ball in the air with authority. And quick inside, too.
Called strike 3, and the inning is over. But they get the lead back on the bases loaded free pass to Valbuena. It's 3-2 Cubs after 7.
We have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Hey, that little guy. That is really nice. Tweet your photo to hashtag Northside Fan Photo for a chance to have it appear in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Looks like a little take on Vertigo there. Well, here comes Pedro Strop to work the 8th. Yesterday, he worked the 9th. Picked up the save in 1-2-3 fashion, 3 ground ball out. So Rondon, Strop, and Ramirez all with saves on this homestand.
And Schlitter, who gave up the 2 runs, can get the win. So that's how it goes.
Yep. Yeah. He's been really good. It's all right. You can vulture one every now and then.
Two and 0 on Yelich. The pitch. Three and 1.
We were really impressed when we saw Yelich last year. He's been good this weekend as well. Just seems to have a real good plan in there. Doesn't take many bad swings. Has a real good idea of the strike zone.
And the dreaded leadoff walk.
To a guy that can run a little bit.
Keeping a close eye on Yelich, who already has 2 steals today. Chatting with Perry Hill, their first base coach, terrific infield instructor as well. And we mentioned Strop occasionally. With nobody on base, will do the quick pitch. He holds his hands high at that set position. Sometimes instead of freezing in that position, he'll just go right into his kick. But can't do that with a runner on base.
No, that would be a balk. It's a lot of ground balls. Presents a little bit of a predicament for Mike Redmond. At risk of grounding into a double play if he doesn't start his base runner. Lucas has hit the ball on the ground all 3 times this afternoon.
Good lead by Yelich, not running, and a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Great complimentary pitch to that 2-seamer that moves in on the right-handed hitter. A little slider right on the outside corner.
Stanton 1 for 13 in the series.
See the frustration on his face, and just does not look like he's seeing the ball well at all this weekend. did him a favor.
Sure did.
Getting dotted with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball doesn't sound like a favor, but puts a tying run in scoring position, the go-ahead run on base.
The left elbow / tricep area. And the manager out just to talk things over. Nobody up in the bullpen.
A series in which the Cubs pitching has been really, really good, limiting the walks. A walk last inning, a walk and a hit batter here now in the 8th. Fish scored 2 in the 7th and looking to make a little noise again here in the 8th. Casey McGee's been about as good as it gets with runners in scoring position.
One strike on McGee. The pitch by Strop outside.
Well, actually on the outside corner, but the fact that Baker had to reach across his body to get it cost him.
Base hit center field. Yelich first went back towards second. Don't know if he would have been sent by Brett Butler. But usually on a line drive, your first move is back. The only thing is the Cubs were not in a big shift there. The bases are loaded with one out.
Yeah, you'll get a good look at it here. You know, it's just with a little bit of hesitation to stop and go, and that forces Butler to throw up a stop sign. Sharply as that ball was hit, probably would have anyway, with just one out.
And we obviously have a great look at how things develop. You're a base runner down there, you got to make sure. So a big moment now. Bases loaded. Garrett Jones held his swing.
Jones 0 for 3 today. But he's hit the ball hard twice.
Well, just like Valbuena's check swing, which was called a strike. Clearly held up. 1-0. Slicing drive will be caught by Coughlin. Yelich will score, and the Marlins have tied it yet again. And Stanton's going to make third. McGee to second. It's 3-3 and heads up base running on a defensive mistake by the Cubs.
Coughlin back on his heels on this line drive, so there's no way they're going to throw the runner out at home. Short hop throw not handled there by Valbuena, and that allows the back runners to move up. If you're Louis, you got to come and catch that ball in the air or back up and play a more friendlier hop. The error charged to Coughlin there on the throw, but that's more on Valbuena.
They will intentionally walk Ozuna with Real Muto, the rookie catcher, on deck.
First pitch might have caught the outside corner.
So that leadoff walk comes back to bite Strop. A walk, a hit batter, a single, a sac fly, an error, and now an intentional walk. It has Been an eventful inning. Too eventful.
Error has not impacted the scoring yet.
Real Muto's already knocked in 4 runs. He just got called up. Made his debut on Thursday. And he will bat with the bases full in a 3-3 tie.
Boy, after a week there of playing nothing but blowouts, all of a sudden it's been one tight game after another.
Oh, that bounced in front of the plate off the mask of Baker. And now that error does come into play big time as Stanton scores a go-ahead run. It's 4-3 Miami.
Again, not all blocks are created equal. This is a tough one. Bounces way up in front of home plate. Baker does everything right. It just jumps up and catches him in the mask. Marlins cash in on the error.
This has been an ugly inning. And it's still not over. Well, they had a base open. They walked Ozuna to get to the rookie. But I think with the wildness here of Strop, you can't walk him up, at least intentionally, to load the bases.
Yeah, and this may be a good time for Baker to go out and talk with Strop a little bit to make sure they're on the same page with his 2-0 pitch.
2-1.
Yeah, you know, you get down to this part of the batting order, and for the most part, it's pick your poison. And you don't want to put a man on with Strop struggling with his command for fear of another ball in the dirt or a walk in a run. But you also got to be careful not to just lay one in there. See, the fact that he just did that kind of makes you wonder where he's at mentally. I mean, an inside move to take a look at a base runner on second, and you're struggling to throw strikes.
Breaking ball in there, 2-2.
Strop can be a tough guy to catch. He gets outstanding movement on his fastball. He throws hard. Bounces a lot of breaking balls. And he's not predictable command-wise either. There's no guarantee he's going to hit the mitt. You know, he's a stuff guy.
Strike 3 called. But the damage done as Miami gets 2 and now leads this ball game 4-3. continue on here with all these lefties, starting with Chris Coghlan. Inside, almost clipped Coghlan. Chris Bryant has homered again off the scoreboard for Double-A Tennessee. He has hit 21 on the year. They're playing at Jacksonville today. One missed badly. 2-0. Iowa shut out Colorado Springs at Triple-A 3-0. The final. Dallas Beeler got the victory. Blake Parker with his 13th save. Kane County lost this afternoon 3-2, but congrats to the Cougars. 3-0 now. They have clinched the first half Western Division championship of the Midwest League.
Go Cougs.
42-21 even after their loss today. Ball 4. Dunn was not even close.
Well, after pretty sterling performances by the starting pitchers in this ball game, the pitching has gone downhill. The bullpens have really struggled.
Baker could not pull the bat back.
Couldn't tell if Baker was looking at the third base umpire in disbelief on the call or he was looking for a sign from Gary Jones, and I'm guessing it was the latter.
Told Baker hit a game winning 2-run homer here. Give us the lead. We'll go 1-2-3 in the ninth. Baker bunts. Dunn almost slipped as he's able to make the play. It'll go 1-3 on the sacrifice.
A good job there by Baker, able to deaden that ball enough where there was no option but first base. At the end of the bat, just catches it right there on his name. Double switch.
So Ruggiano announced. We will sort things out as Brian Morris will pitch again. He appeared in every game in this series. Looks like he's coming in with Jeff Mathis. Take a break. Cubs trailing by a run in the 8th. Mathis in for Real Muto, and Morris in for the lefty Dunn.
That comes in to counter the move of Justin Ruggiano, pinch hitting here. Morris, the former Pirate, is 4-0 with a 3.33 ERA in 24 ball games. Ruggiano's been good in the pinch, 3 out of 10.
Coughlin, the tying run at second base. So the former Marlins can team up here as Ruggiano takes ball one. Here it comes. Ground ball to short. That's Echeverria. Coughlin heading back to second. Gets he out at first.
Speaking of former Marlins, here's another one with a chance to break his former club's heart. Bonifacio has been really good today. 3 hits and a sac bunt. Morris working for the 4th time in a Marlin uniform. Scoreless baseball the previous 3 outings. And as Len mentioned, 2 of those coming here this weekend.
Don't have all the details, but Manny Machado today got kicked out. A couple of other guys, I think, ejected as well in a blowout. A's win over the Orioles. Everything kind of stemming from that earlier incident when Josh Donaldson tagged Machado, who took umbrage with it. And we'll take a look at it in the next half inning as we head to the 9th. Miami leading the Cubs 4-3.
That for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or Windows Phone 8. Get scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details.
Right-hander Justin Grimm will try to keep the Marlins right where they are. 4-3 ball game.
See if Justin can tighten things up a little bit here. The bullpen has had a rough go of it so far. Bullpen that over the last few weeks has been one of the best in all of baseball. So they were due for a rough one.
Oh, and 2 to Echeverria. The Marlins closer is Steve Cishek, and he's up in their bullpen. Called strike 3.
Echeverria thought it was up or out or both. Take a look on pitch tracks. He was right on the out part.
And so the bench is cleared again in Baltimore today. Still kind of piecing everything together. Yes, Manny Machado got kicked out. Fernando Abad did as well. This was kind of the end of it.
That was after an inside fastball, apparently. Machado flung his bat down there.
Callaspo was playing third, not Donaldson at the time, but this all stemmed from earlier in the series. I'm just looking at some of the tweets from the beat writers covering the game. Jane Lee, who covers the A's for MLB.com. I guess a couple of times on backswings, Machado caught John Jaso in the series and didn't say anything about it. So the A's were on edge as it was, and then the bat fling all the way down to third.
Oh my!
Got away
taking
from
a beating back there today. Well, in yesterday's game, Machado was trying to avoid a tag at third base, and Josh Donaldson tagged him.
I think it was Friday.
Friday's game.
Friday.
Yeah, they all run together. And Machado took his helmet off and spiked it and was very upset. And then Donaldson got drilled later in the ball game, right? He got drilled, or they just go up and in on him? They
threw at him twice,
right?
and hit him once.
Yeah.
Mathis drives it to right, and it's run down by Sherholtz.
And, Buck Showalter tried to defend his guy Machado. And I understand that when you're the manager, sometimes you have to defend bad behavior just to keep peace in your own clubhouse. But clearly it was kind of bush league by Machado to react the way he did. And then for the Orioles pitchers to go back and throw at Donaldson is really and maybe there's more to it, but what I saw, I thought the Orioles were way out of line.
I guess Abad had thrown inside to Machado. It was below the waist, according to the CBS Sports report.
Well,
and then he ended up flinging the bat, and the theory was he was actually trying to throw the bat toward the mound.
Well, Machado should have been told before the game, the way he behaved on Friday, be ready, they might take a shot at you, and if they throw it down low, then you should be happy. Take the heat, take your base.
I don't know if you can prove that he was throwing the bat intentionally, but if they do, that would seem to be suspendable. We'll see. He's only, 21?
He's young. Yeah.
He's a pretty exciting player, though.
Mm-hmm.
Real tight with Albert Almora. They grew up together. Brims 2-2 to Yelich, and a base hit to left. We only see what he does against the Cubs, but it's been impressive the last couple of years.
Third time he's been on base today. 2 singles to left and a walk. Homered in the ball game yesterday. 10 out of 24.
So add 12 for 28 now in this ballpark.
Be looking to run at some point, I would think.
Grimms is going to hold the ball. Somebody asked for time. Lucas finally did. Yelich runs. Ground ball to third. Backhanded by Valbuena. And we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Lake, Rizzo, Castro due against the closers, Cishek. The Marlins just trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game weekend series. And here's Steve Cishek trying to get his 14th save of the year.
Yeah, he's failed on just one opportunity. Sinker slider with that sidearm delivery. Keeps the ball in the ballpark. He's allowed just 1 home run this year in 24 2/3.
Well, you've got 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Down a run. Here we go. Slings it up there at 92, ball 1. All the runs coming since the 6th inning in this game. That's a strike. Cubs got 2 in the 6th. Marlins tied it with 2 in the 7th. Cubs took the lead again in the bottom of the 7th with a run, but then Miami played it 2 in the 8th. The 5th time Cishek has pitched in this ballpark. 47 for his last 50 in save opportunities. Line and caught. The timing leap by Echeverria. He waited just a half second before going up and getting it.
Tough break for Junior. He hit it hard.
Junior did all he could. He hit a ball hard. Look for an out.
Rizzo has one more heroic swing in him on this homestand.
He struck out twice, grounded out, and was intentionally walked in the 7th. Here it comes. It's at the knees, and it's 1-2. Cishek went to Carson Newman College, 5th round pick in 07. Carson and Newman, two of your favorites.
The great Wayne Knight played Newman.
2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 3.
Wow, look at that sequence of pitches. Really didn't give him anything to hit the entire at bat. Down around the knees, bottom of the knees, and a good backdoor slider to get the swing and miss. Really well done by Cishek. 3rd strikeout today for Rizzo, but it's not like he missed a hittable pitch. And there's another one. That is nasty down there.
We might head to the Cishek down there on the beach when we go to Miami. Sinkers bounced foul. One and 2 on Castro. Last chance now. Valbuena's on deck. Found back our way.
Cubs have left 10 on base today. They got one in the 7th, but left the bases loaded. That inning will come back to haunt them a little bit unless they can do something here with 2 outs in the 9th.
Swing and a miss, and the Cubs go quietly in the 9th. The Marlins came back twice today and beat the Cubs 4-3 to salvage game 3. Good homestand. Cubs went 5-1. And the good news today is Jake Arrieta was terrific. 6 shutout innings, and he is our GMC player of the game.
Yeah, as good as we've seen him. And we've seen him really good here on a number of occasions. Efficiency always the issue with Jake. Today, 6 innings of 3-hit baseball. He threw 93 pitches, 60 of them for strikes. Did not walk anybody, struck out 7. So he takes a step in the right direction with his outing here this afternoon. And yeah, you're right. Very good homestand. And just a rare off day for the bullpen.
So that will wrap things up as we hit the road for a while for JD and our entire crew. Len Casper saying so long from Wrigley Field. Your final score: the Marlins 4 and the Cubs 3. Back on the air Tuesday 5:30 for the pregame from Pittsburgh. The Pirates hosting the Cubs. Coming up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.